Oh. Shh. I like it. Shh. Shh. Oh, what the?
Welcome to MsMojo. We love our Gilmore Girls around here, but we love the guys who love them too. Sometimes anyway. But when they're wrong, we're not afraid to say so. Today we'll be looking at the best and worst relationship moments from the most significant men in the Gilmore Girls world. We won't be including wannabe boyfriends, brief flings, or anyone who rates as almost perfect, like Dave Rogalski.
I'm so writing him a song tonight.
Zack van Gerbig. Worst, sinking Hep Alien's big chance. After years of grinding away in local gigs, it looks like Hep Alien's ship is finally coming in when they get the chance to play for a label rep. Unfortunately, this coincides with Zack's sudden insecurity about Brian and Lane's friendship.
Hey, dude, that doesn't sound too bad. What is that?
Oh, just a song I've been working on. I don't know if it's any good or not.
Chords are good. Any lyrics?
Some. It's called Lane.
It's called Lane?
Who, me, Lynn?
Yeah, we were talking about songs in Lane yesterday, and I just got inspired.
Inspired, huh?
Never mind that Lane has never given Zack any reason to doubt her. Maybe he just realizes what the audience has known all along, that she's too good for him, and this relationship never really made sense.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing. Why?
You added a band member without telling us?
Well, it's my band, right?
No, actually, we're supposed to be a democracy.
Is this coming from Brian?
No, it's coming from me. I'm just concerned.
He shows up on the pivotal night with a major attitude and proceeds to derail the performance with his antics, culminating in a physical fight. Worse, he remains unapologetic despite how heartbroken Lane is by the ruined opportunity. It should have spelled the end of Zack and Lane's relationship.
Maybe this is why people in bands shouldn't date.
Yeah. I guess so.
Zack van Gerbig. Best, proving his love through song. When Lane inexplicably accepts Zack's sudden marriage proposal, there's only one obstacle left: Mrs. Kim. And her condition for agreeing to the union takes Zack by surprise.
You write a hit, you get a record contract. You write a hit, you get representation. You write a hit, you become husband. Can you do it? Can you write a hit?
I don't know. Maybe. I can try.
Don't try, do. 3.5 minutes tops and radio friendly.
After 20 hours of non-stop work, Zack still hasn't been able to crack the elusive code on a hit song. However, when he proves willing to take Mrs. Kim's collaborative advice, he finally has a breakthrough.
Now that is a hit song.
It is. We wrote a hit song. Mrs. Kim, we wrote a hit song.
Excellent. Now we go inside.
This was a big turning point for Zack's character, showing him willing to be flexible and put his pride to the side for Lane's sake. And winning Mrs. Kim's approval is nothing to scoff at either. Though let's be clear, it's still not quite on the level of reading the whole Bible in one night.
I myself have only done it 3 times. You need great determination and excellent light. I'm very impressed.
Jason Stiles. Worst, crashing the Dragonfly opening. We'll start by throwing Jason a bone. His decision to sue Richard Gilmore was justified. But something like that does tend to put a strain on a relationship, and we can't fault Lorelai for ending things between them either. Apparently, Jason doesn't see things our way, though.
I stayed away, I gave you space.
You gave me space. We broke up.
Oh, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as a cooling off period.
How very revisionist of you.
His disregard for the facts of the situation? That's not great. But the bigger problem is how Jason refuses to respect Lorelai's boundaries.
Please go. I will call you on Monday.
I can't wait till Monday. It gives you too much time to talk yourself out of trying again.
Well, first I would have to talk myself into trying again, so let's make it Tuesday.
I'll wait till you're done.
I'm not going to be done for 2 days.
I'll wait till you take a
I
break.
will not have a break for 2 days.
This is a terrible job.
Ambushing her at her place of work, especially during what he knows is a stressful weekend for her, is overbearing and inconsiderate no matter how you spin it. It looks even worse when you consider how Lorelai, who tends to be a bit rigid, learned to be accommodating of Jason's needs throughout their relationship.
Just remember, you like that I have little quirks.
Okay.
They're what make me, me.
Jason Stiles. Best, first date. Then again, maybe the last scene between Lorelai and Jason was inevitable considering how tireless he was in getting her to date him in the first place. Even then, Lorelai was not impressed with his idea of a good time.
You know, all the people and the noise, you can't even hear yourself think.
But that's the point of coming to a place like this.
I thought The point of coming to a place like this would be to enjoy the food and the atmosphere.
Yes, but all of the atmosphere's out there.
Trying to salvage the evening, Jason agrees to leave and takes Lorelai for her favorite fast food instead. Except she refuses to eat when he declines to order any for himself. Finally, they wind up at a grocery store out of sheer desperation, where Jason proves he really will do anything to make Lorelai happy.
It's just like heaven.
Here, you want to do the honors?
Feels so powerful.
Their mismatches in taste indicate this relationship is not destined to last, but Jason's dogged efforts to give her a nice date are very endearing, as is the makeshift dinner they scrounge up together.
A little ingenuity.
It's too bad they stopped selling alcohol after 9:30. I mean, not that I need to be drunk to have dinner with you.
Oh, the fun flask.
Excuse me?
I swiped the fun flask.
Dean Forrester, worst, cheating with Rory. From his increasingly pronounced jealous streak to his habit of dumping Rory publicly, Dean has a few low points to contend with, but nothing beats this one for recklessness or collateral damage.
I'm sorry.
You are?
I'm sorry you're not happy.
I'll be happy again. Things happen for a reason.
As Rory struggled to adjust to college and Dean found his hasty marriage to Lindsay to be increasingly unsatisfying, the two exes were slowly drawn back together over the course of season 4. By the time they're alone in Rory's bedroom, it's like watching a slow-motion train crash as we witness them both dismiss his relationship and give in to their worst impulses.
I can't believe this is... that we're...
I can't.
Rory would go on to try and justify this behavior, but even though Dean eventually comes to his senses, there's no excusing his actions here.
I hurt everybody. I hurt Lindsay, I hurt her parents, I hurt my parents, and now I'm back at home and you're in Europe with your grandmother and what the hell was I thinking? I mean, what am I doing? What's wrong with me?
Dean Forrester. Best, being the perfect date. Back in a simpler time, Dean is just the cute boy from the market, and Rory is just the teenage girl nervous about asking him to her school dance.
You want to go, don't you?
No, I don't. I have no desire to go at all. I was just thinking out loud, that's all.
The worry is for nothing, though. The Chilton formal isn't his scene, but he is seemingly happy to just be spending the evening with his new girlfriend.
What do you think? Too tall?
Not in heels.
Good.
Although the saddle shoes make it kind of difficult.
Well, I'll just have to stoop then.
I guess so. Okay, I'm bored.
From banishing the mean girls to sweet slow dancing, Dean is dream date material throughout the episode. He won't even let Tristan spoil the night, holding his ground while refusing to be goaded into a fight. We know that puppy love isn't enough to go the distance for these two, but in those early days, Dean gave us a moment right out of our teenage dreams.
Hey,
What?
thank you for tonight. It was perfect.
You're welcome.
Jackson Belleville, worst, lying about his vasectomy. With the season 5 birth of their second child, Suki and Jackson have completed the all-American family. And Suki, for one, wants to make absolutely certain that they remain a quartet.
You're getting a vasectomy.
What?
You're getting a vasectomy.
You got me. You got me. You're funny. Dark, but funny.
I'm not joking, sweetie.
Now, she definitely should have discussed this with Jackson rather than springing it on him, but we cannot justify the way he responded.
Oh, so she says go get a vasectomy, and I'm just supposed to go get a vasectomy?
Well, no, you shouldn't do it if you didn't want to do it, but if you didn't want to do it, you should have told her you didn't want to do it.
I didn't see the point. Now I see the point.
Suki's inevitable pregnancy finally forces Jackson to confess that he never got the procedure, which he takes about as well as one might expect.
No!
You can't just order someone to go get a vasectomy.
No, you know what? Just be really quiet right now.
Like it's a haircut.
Don't speak, don't breathe, don't even look at me.
To be clear, this entire issue deserves a calm, mature discussion between both parties. But Jackson keeping a secret that had huge implications for their family and for Suki's health definitely makes him come off worse of the two.
What am I supposed to do? What, start watching him brush his teeth? Does he want me to start cutting his meat?
I don't think he wants his meat cut at all.
Well, how could he do this?
Well, I guess he didn't really want to have a vasectomy.
Well, then tell me.
I agree.
Jackson Belleville, best, the basket buyout. Okay, on closer inspection, Jackson and Suki may have always had some communication issues. Like when Jackson didn't know how to ask Suki to move in with him, and Suki didn't realize he wanted her to.
So, I guess I'll go re-up my lease then.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thinking she wasn't serious about him, Jackson refuses to bid at the town basket auction. letting Suki's lunch date go to Kirk instead. However, once they finally talk honestly about their insecurities, it's clear how much in love they really are.
And you might get sick of me.
Or you might get sick of me.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Well, if that's not gonna happen, then what's the problem?
The problem is that Kirk is gonna eat my goat cheese basket.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Of course, Jackson still has to go through Kirk to get the basket back. But the whole chain of events helps him figure out what he really wants, and proves that Jackson can make himself clear in pretty adorable fashion.
I'm sorry, you don't think we should live together anymore?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we should get married.
What?
I think we should get married.
But
Soon.
Max Medina, worst, proposing as a power play. What's a good indication that a couple should have stayed broken up? Maybe if they can't even get out of the house for their second first date without tension breaking out.
Luke, we'll talk later.
Yes, we will.
Although probably not tonight. We won't be back until late.
No, I meant not tonight.
Oh, I misunderstood.
I meant tomorrow. So tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Max instantly turns possessive after encountering Luke at the Gilmore house. He makes incorrect assumptions about his relationship to Lorelai, before throwing his own interim dating experiences in her face to make her jealous.
Well, I like your honesty. Because, I mean, you could have lied and left that part out to spare my feelings, which would have been unnecessary. So thank you. That was good. I slept with Rory's dad.
Let's change the subject.
Lorelai at least sees the writing on the wall, but in response to her suggestion that they break up again, Max takes an unhinged left turn.
We should get married.
Give me a clue as to whether you're kidding or not.
I am not kidding.
Good clue.
Nothing about this feels organic or in good faith, more like a transparent attempt to mark his territory. Lorelai calls it for what it is, but however Max denies it, it still feels manipulative.
A proposal has to be something more than the desperate desire to end a bickering match.
It was more than that.
Oh, it has to be planned. It should be magical.
Max Medina, best, cafe banter. Max and Lorelai's courtship started with the lure of forbidden fruit. His role as Rory's literature teacher instantly complicates any potential attraction. But while that initially gives Lorelai pause, he proves to be persuasive enough to get her to consider him.
We are
Yes.
of similar heights.
Wow, round one and already tapped.
Okay, maybe not. At first, it looks like Lorelai will handily lap Max in a battle of wits. Except he proves to be a surprisingly quick study.
If you're telling me what you think I want to hear, then I'm not really getting to know you.
But if I know what you want to hear, that shows a level of understanding on my part that far exceeds your understanding of me. Who's the one lagging?
Whether he's right or whether Lorelai simply recognizes a worthy opponent, she agrees to go on a date, and their relationship blossoms afterwards. True, it ends badly, not once, but twice, and it's rife with issues, but chemistry was never one of them. We can appreciate that in different circumstances, Max might have been a perfect partner to the formidable Lorelai Gilmore.
Just let me get its size, and I promise you'll never have to take it off again. In fact, I'm going to insist on it.
Richard Gilmore, worst, leaving Emily out of the loop. At their best, Emily and Richard Gilmore are a perfectly matched team. But whether it's a generational shortcoming or plain old hubris, Richard also has an unfortunate tendency of keeping Emily in the dark about certain matters.
Oh, are you retired, Richard?
Well,
Of course he's not, Richard. Richard?
actually, I am.
His early retirement represents a consequential shift in their lives, which he neglected to prepare her for. However, a worse breach of trust comes when Emily discovers that Richard has continued to see his college sweetheart on a yearly basis for decades.
Pennilyn and I are just friends. We just wanted to keep track of each other. That was it.
So you've lied to me for the last 39 years?
Well, she didn't tell Stephen. It was only lunch.
Only lunch, yes.
Incidents like these stack up across the first half of the show, with a noticeable effect on Emily's mental state over time. Feeling increasingly undervalued, she eventually reaches a breaking point that leads to a dramatic separation between the pair.
The woman you married was your partner. You listened to her, you consulted with her, you respected her. So you are right, Richard. I am definitely not the woman you married.
Richard Gilmore, best. My name is Bill. Whatever faults he has, Richard is not stupid. It doesn't take long before he realizes the error of his ways, and the Gilmores reunite, marking the occasion with a lavish vow renewal. Here, Richard proves he really has learned when he chooses an obscure favorite song of Emily's from decades ago as their first dance.
Emily would tease me, saying, if only your name was Bill, then this could be our song. Well, Emily, for tonight, and tonight only, my name is Bill, and this is our song.
Considering how invisible Emily was feeling prior to the separation, this song is indeed the perfect note for their next chapter. It proves that Richard is willing to notice and celebrate the details important to his partner.
We should separate more often.
Oh, bite your tongue.
We never really had any doubt about the depth of the love between these two, of course. Season 1 laid the groundwork with an emotional promise from Richard to Emily that still gets us every time.
I did not sign on to your dying, and it is not going to happen. Not tonight, not for a very long time. In fact, I demand to go first. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Emily. You may go first.
Jess Mariano. Worst, the house party. From the beginning, Jess had issues with boundaries, often making Rory downright uncomfortable in his pursuit of her. Even once they were officially a couple, his mercurial temperament keeps her consistently off balance.
Let's go, let's get out of here.
Go where?
Anywhere.
It's early.
It's boring.
Jess, we can't just go.
Yes, we can.
The band's playing a whole other set.
They can do it without us.
I don't want to leave. Now come on. Try to have fun, talk, mingle.
Upset about having to repeat his senior year, and unwilling as ever to communicate, Jess retreats from the party to brood in private. When Rory follows to comfort him, he pushes to take things further, ignoring her repeated protestations.
Jeez.
Not here, not now.
Fine.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me.
Someone could walk in that door.
And Santa Claus could come down the chimney, whatever.
This isn't just a low point for Jess, but arguably the worst moment for any guy on the series. And made even more appalling by the fact that he lashes out and blames Rory.
Rory, stop! Just stop! I did not invite you up here. You came up here on your own.
I don't know what I did.
You didn't do anything.
He immediately regrets his actions. But this is the kind of thing we find hard to forgive, and will certainly never forget. Jess Mariano. Best, a push in the right direction. One thing we can say for Jess is that he was always supportive of Rory's Ivy League goals. And unlike Dean, he never saw them as prohibitive to their relationship.
You're still going to Yale?
Yes, I am. It's got all the classes I want and some really great teachers. And plus, as an added bonus, it's really close to here.
22.8 miles.
How'd you know that?
Do you Yahoo?
You looked it up?
Yeah.
You looked it up.
He did, of course, beg her to drop out of college a year later to run away with him, but in the long term, Jess realized Rory was right to say no, which is why he reacted so strongly to discovering later that she had left school all the same.
I know you better than anyone. This isn't you.
I don't know.
What are you doing? Living at your grandparents' place? Being in the DAR? No, Yale. Why did you drop out of Yale?
Rory was slowly realizing this mistake on her own, but Jess's outburst gave her the last push she needed to get her life back on track. As problematic as he could be, Jess's honesty in this moment reveals a genuine concern for Rory and her future that was undeniably impactful.
Maybe we'll catch up at a better time.
Christopher Hayden. Worst, interrupting Friday night dinner. Just when it looked like Christopher and Lorelai were finally ready to be together, he found out his girlfriend was pregnant. It's a devastating blow for them, but they both accept there's no way to move forward as a couple. Or so we thought, anyway.
What are you doing here?
You won't return my calls.
Did you do this?
I knew you'd be here.
I did not do this.
You gave me no choice.
After I told you to just stay out of it.
Lorelai, I did not do this.
You have to go.
I'm not going until you talk to me.
Christopher's desperate attempt to force a conversation with Lorelai is the ultimate selfish act. He is deep in his feelings, and he decides to make that everyone's problem.
I didn't want things to turn out this way.
But they did turn out this way.
But I didn't want that.
Christopher, is Sherry still pregnant?
Of course she is.
Are you still with her?
Yes.
Are you gonna marry her?
Yes.
Then, honey, we are where we are. Accept it.
I can't.
Looking for pity and comfort, Chris never stopped to consider how his actions might impact the women around him. He uses love as an excuse to make this awful situation entirely about himself, displaying cringeworthy disrespect for Sherry and a callous disregard for the feelings of either Rory or Lorelai.
It hurts. Talking to you really hurts. Standing here right now is killing me, okay? Don't you understand that?
Christopher, I think you'd better go now.
Emily,
Leave now. Please.
Christopher Hayden. Best, finally in Paris.
You're coming with me.
Oh, I am?
Yep.
I'm sleeping on a bench? Okay, how's that picture look to you? Because to me it looks like a big no.
Fine, we get a room for, and then I'll just sleep on the bench outside.
Much better arrangement.
As teenagers, Lorelai and Christopher talked about traveling to Europe together after high school. And though life intervened, they did eventually make it to Paris.
Is the Tour de France still going on? Because we could stand on a little Paris street and yell, woohoo!
The trip gets off to a bumpy start when jet lag causes them to miss their dinner reservation, and they're forced to wander the streets trying to find food. Luckily, Christopher remembers he can use his recent inheritance to grease some wheels.
Cool. Right? And I was prepared to do other things to get you fed. I mean, I had backup plans that included theft and chicanery.
Oh, chicanery for me?
Anything for you. Anything.
Throughout the episode, we see why Lorelai and Chris are so good together. Their banter is unmatched, and their long history gives them an understanding of one another that is rare. This gesture doesn't feel like a stunt, but a heartfelt attempt to realize an old dream. Chris carried a torch for Lorelai for a long time, and his sincere devotion on display here is touching.
I'd still sleep on a park bench with you.
Name the bench.
Logan Huntzberger. Worst. An aggressive third wheel. Few people would take it well if they found their significant other meeting up with an ex behind their backs, so we can understand Logan's sour feelings. But that doesn't make the way he handled the encounter with Rory and Jess any better.
We were just gonna go grab a bite to eat.
Great. Well, how about if we all go together? Is that okay? Okay by me. Good.
All right. Good. We were actually at a loss for where to go, so you actually saved us.
Call me Superman. Why don't you follow us?
Forcing himself in on their reunion, Logan is completely insufferable, dangling his wealth and privilege in a way that just feels gross. He makes his intent to insult even more blatant when he starts challenging Jess's intellect.
He wrote a book.
Oh, you penned the Great American Novel, Jess. Wasn't quite that ambitious. So what are we talking here? Short novel, Kafka length, or longer? Dos Passos, Tolstoy, or longer? Robert Musil, Proust? I'm not throwing you with these names, am I?
You seem very obsessed with length.
We'll give Jess credit and say it shows a lot of growth that he didn't take the bait here, but of all the sides Logan showed during his time on the series, this is by far his least attractive.
Writers are so sensitive.
You are a jerk, Logan.
I was just challenging him. Jeez. Hey, if Hemingway could take it, so can he.
Logan Huntzberger. Best. Saving the paper.
Are these proofed?
Yeah, but they're not typed in yet.
I'll do that. It'll be faster. I type 90 words a minute.
You do?
You really did only like me for my looks, huh?
Logan first got us swooning with his literal call to adventure in the iconic You Jump, I Jump Jack. But arguably his finest moment comes when he finds the Yale Daily News in crisis following Paris's meltdown.
You hate it here.
So what? I know this crap backwards and forwards. I can't believe you didn't even think to call me.
Well, I'm sorry, I just didn't think you were interested.
Well, then I guess you don't know everything now, do you? So come on, what do you got here?
With the paper's integrity on the line, he swings into action to help Rory, offering a sharp skill set, fresh material, and valuable management suggestions. And when it looks like all the staff's hard work might be in vain, he buys them time to get to the finish line.
It's all there, man.
What? What's happening?
You got it? All right, great. It's been great speaking with you, too. I'll tell my father. Bye. And that's how we do it at the Daily News!
Not only does this show us how much Logan has been holding back behind his slacker facade, it proves that he and Rory are more than a good couple. They're a true partnership. They support and complement each other perfectly, and together there's nothing they can't do.
Boy, when you're on.
Luke Danes. Worst. Keeping April from Lorelai. Discovering you have a 12-year-old kid? Yeah, that would rock anyone's world. But Luke has never been great with change to begin with, and as he struggles to adapt, he puts a firm separation between his daughter April and the rest of his life. But when Lorelai meets April in the diner, worlds collide.
I just found out.
Just? When just? She's in there filling salt shakers. It doesn't feel that new to me.
2 months ago.
2 months? That's a hell of a long time to go without telling me.
Lorelai is remarkably understanding, all things considered. However, Luke doubles down on his poor handling of the situation when he reiterates his intention to keep her out of April's orbit.
Luke!
She'll like you better. That is just a fact.
Oh, you're her dad.
Yes, I am her dad, and this is the way I want it to be.
It's clear Luke is overwhelmed, but rather than let his partner help him manage those feelings, he makes unilateral decisions that lock her out of the equation entirely. And when he asks to postpone their wedding, it causes Lorelai to doubt their entire relationship.
I'm trying.
Well, try marriage.
Just wait.
No, I'm not waiting. It's now or never.
I don't like ultimatums.
I don't like Mondays, but unfortunately they come around eventually.
I can't just jump like this.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Luke Danes, Best, The Going Away Party. Luke fell for Lorelai at first sight, but what ultimately made him endgame was how much he loved Rory as well. With the clock rapidly ticking down on her last days in Stars Hollow, this man, who hated every event the town ever hosted, went into overdrive to throw her an epic going-away party.
All right, we're gonna need chairs and tables and volunteers to set them up around the gazebo, okay? We're all gonna get started in the square tonight after dark, okay? Okay.
Luke oversees every step of the planning and execution while also managing to keep the party a secret from the Gilmore Girls. And when Rain threatens to thwart their efforts, he's ready with a plan B.
He went around and collected everybody's tarps and tents and raincoats, and I don't know how he did it. I mean, he must have stayed up all night doing this. Can you believe that?
While he's not always great at expressing himself, Luke is at his best when he can show his love. The party was the grandest of grand gestures, allowing him to declare his true feelings for Lorelai in terms far deeper than any words.
I just like to see you happy.
Which Gilmore Guy moment makes you swoon? Which makes you rage? Pour yourself some coffee and tell us about it in the comments.
How many cups have you had this morning?
None.
Plus?
5, but yours is better.
You have a problem.
Yes, I do.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.